All right, ready, set, go. All right, so for this project, what we're gonna be utilizing is standard sprinkler irrigation. So starting with the black ABS in the back, this is gonna be the 3-inch tank. I'm gonna be cutting this down to size. I got caps on both sides. I'll do a valve stem on one, and I'm gonna tap my threaded connector in there. And then this is gonna rotate, do 180 degrees. And as this goes through, it's gonna step down into just a sprinkler valve. This is gonna be my solenoid. So as we give it 12 volts from the auxiliary power, this is gonna open it up, let the airflow come out. And then on this side, we're gonna be doing just a step down coupling. So that way we can go ahead and connect in the small pipe that we're gonna be able to fire the Nerf gun or the Nerf dart from there. And then with all of this, we're gonna mount it to the passenger side of the Power Jeep. Now, because this one is an air system, everything on this side, so on the tank side, we're gonna be gluing this and making it nice and tight. But everything from the exhaust side, I'm gonna keep that just threaded in, so that way if we want to, in the future, we'll be able to take advantage of the tank system and connect it to another toy. So that part's gonna be loose. Then the rest of this is due to the fact that it needs to be rigid on this moving vehicle. I'm gonna be taking advantage of my 3D printer. If you don't have a 3D printer, wood will work as well. I'm just gonna be making this just very, very tight fitting. And so you're gonna be seeing much design and 3D printing in this project. One other thing on this one is I'm taking advantage of an old project that I've done. So I'm gonna be building a swivel mount. So this is gonna get mounted on the side of the Power Jeep, and then this is gonna give an ability to have a full rotation, pitch, and everything. So the gun will be able to be mounted on here, giving the kids a nice solid swivel point for this Nerf cannon. So on board, I'm gonna be mounting this little 12-volt compressor. Now the amp draw on it's going to be too much for auxiliary power. I could potentially double up the 12-volt breakouts and get maybe enough power, but instead what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going ahead and using the 18-volt Ryobi power as well. And then on board, that 12-volt auxiliary is going to be what's controlling the solenoid valve. So what's nice about this, you ready, buddy? Is that this 12-volt system is I'll be able to specify and control very closely how much PSI is going to go into the tank, so that way the control of the power is going to be completely monitored by this. And from the battery position, we'll be able to charge this thing up really quickly on the fly. Well, after 10 plus years of having this printer, it died. So all printing has to come to a halt. Ordered a new printer. Allegedly, it's supposed to be a lot faster, a lot of great new features, so we'll see. Comes in 2 days, so I'll pick it up again when it shows up. While we wait for the new printer to arrive, just getting some of the fabrication done because I got the rest of the components. So what I did is I drilled and installed a valve stem. So this is going to go into the tank, so we're going to connect the compressor into this. So we charge it with air. And then this is the crude assembly of the firing barrel. So I got the opening in place. It is tight, but that's the goal. So as you put the dart in place, it's a gentle push in, and then it has it there. And then printed this out. This is the barrel sleeve. All right, so there we go. So now as they load it into the chamber, they push it forward, they place the next one in, pull it back so it seals it airtight. This is the end cap that has the valve stem. So I drilled out that hole, mounted that in there, and then I used some PVC cement and I glued the base of my nozzle support to it. And then because I had this tapped in here so I could remove the real support off of this for different barrel sizes in the future, I'll be able to do so. So this component's ready to go. On the other side of the tank, I didn't have a tap as large as it is, so I just used a hole saw and I cut this out. And then what I'm doing here is I'm gonna use tub drain as my gasket. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that through the male side. I'm gonna feed that through here. And then I got a secondary one as well that I'm gonna try to put on this side. And then I have myself a jam nut, and then I'll lock this thing in place. What I need to do is just get an estimate of where I need to have the length end. So when I slide my, let's see, my nozzle or my barrel lock here out, I gotta make sure that the tank is positioned so that way this gives enough slack for this to slide forward. It could be over, I just need to make sure it's not too short, otherwise it's gonna block it from being able to reload. While a couple of the main components are gluing, I'm just gonna leave this be for a second. Now I had to first get this assembly working. So now you can see, so I got my tank side here with my barrel support or my nozzle support. Now with my reloader, you just pull back on this. I'm gonna be careful because it's still gluing. That's how it will seal. So when you reload it, you'll just need to push it forward. This will be glued in, and then I'll drop the bolt in here, pull it back, and it'll be ready to fire. And then let's see. I'm gonna be flipping this to that side, so when I glue this, I'll make sure to do so from there. But that's the crude concept. So after this gets glued up a little bit tighter, I'm gonna make some final adjustments, and then we will be ready to dry fire it. All right, so we're still waiting for the new 3D printer. So there's a couple components that are missing, like my trigger handle here is a prototype one that failed, but it's good enough to do some test firing. Got everything set up here. So the mounts, this has given me an idea that I need to expand on my design so that way I could put some sights, so as they look through, they can line up the shot before they pull that trigger. And then the triggering mechanism right now is just currently set up with my temporary Ryobi one. And then, yeah, we'll go have some fun for a little bit. 3, 2, 1.
Whoa!
The new printer's in place. This thing is beyond impressive compared to my old printer. I probably will do a side video about this thing and talk about it more specifically, but we are knocking out the remaining parts. So today we're just gonna fast track it, print the parts out, finish painting them, and then mount the Nerf cannon or the Mega Cannon to the Power Jeep. Odin's really excited. So we're almost done.
I'm ready.
All right, push that button. And let go. Nice hit. Try again, dude. That was awesome. Pull down, reload. And here's the final look of the cannon. So I added a few little final touches here, specifically the sights. So now as you line up your shot, you could get it a line right there with the sight. And then what's nice about this setup is I took it off of the Power Jeep just because we don't have 2 people on it. You definitely need to have 2 kids on there to stabilize it. So our next video, Odin's gonna have some friends over, and we're gonna have some fun playing with the Mega Nerf cannon mounted to the Power Jeep.